Swing it, Daddy. Swing it, Daddy.
Oh yeah, welcome everybody. This is the Ref Room. It is Wednesday. I am Scott Smokin SIlz, being joined by our local referee-in-chief, Mr. Brad Baumruck. It is a busy weekend coming up. If you're not aware, this is our big CCM World Invite, the biggest weekend of the year. I can't believe it's already here. It always comes very quickly, and it leaves even faster. Yep. So be prepared to skate a lot this weekend, guys. If you're doing games, I'm sure you all are taking many games, and yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend. So today we're going to share some tips and tricks to get through the weekend safely. And I think we got a couple other things up our sleeve. I don't know. Were you able to watch the Ranger and Washington game last night?
No.
Man, I turned it on for the second period. It was incredible. Like, what a great game. And they had a play that, like, all players should watch. A guy from the Capitals broke his stick, and he's almost got a breakaway. He's got like a 2-on-1. He's got a broken stick, and he's coming. He kicks the puck towards the bench, grabs a stick, and continues in to get a shot on goal. He probably should have dropped the puck to his partner, but like the whole bench has a stick out waiting for him, and he grabs the stick and he comes in and gets the shot off, and it's like, wow, he almost scored on it too, which was pretty cool. I've not seen a play like that before, and I'm sure a lot of people will be wondering, gee, is that legal? Can he just grab a stick and continue to play and possibly score a goal, or is there going to be a penalty? I think there was a little confusion with the announcers and like the people in the building seeing that. They were like, can he do that? And yes, he absolutely can. He had a broken stick. He's just replacing his stick, and he's continuing play. He didn't hold on to the stick that was broken. He picks up a new stick from the bench, and he's good to go. As long as he doesn't take two sticks. If he takes two sticks, he's got a problem.
Yes, and also the stick has to be obtained legally, so they have to hand it to him. They can't throw it to him.
Yeah.
You can't get one from the penalty bench.
Right. So it was pretty cool. He was right near the bench. He kicked the puck over there, continued, and like, awesome play. Would have been even better had he scored.
Well, Scott, I got a good question for you. So, what if a player's over by the penalty bench, and his stick breaks, and the opposing team's player goes, here, and they take it from him?
All right, wait. Who's at the penalty bench?
So, Team A
Team A.
I'll get it out good for you.
Team A.
Has the puck. Stick breaks. Team B has a guy serving a penalty in the penalty bench.
Yeah.
Team B goes, here, and hands the stick out. Guy grabs it.
No. Can't do that. It's your opponent's stick.
Why?
Because it's your opponent's stick? You can. If you pick up the wrong stick off the ice and you get caught with the wrong stick, that's not legal.
Well, you have to recognize.
You'd have to identify that it's the wrong stick, but you know.
Yeah, the play is more simple than you're making it.
Well, you can't play with your opponent's stick. I mean, if he hands it to you, I don't know, man. That might be.
You're going 18 feet too far. Think about where he's getting it from.
So you're assuming that he's in an open penalty box that he can hand this stick off. He's not in a glassed-in penalty box where he can't get a stick out there in the first place.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well,
if he's dumb enough to hand you the stick, you could probably take the stick if he wants to give it to you. But I doubt it because he's taking the stick from a player that's in the penalty box. So I would say you can't do that. I would say you can't do that. But it'd be fun to watch. Take my stick and see if you can score with it. Yeah.
Amazingly, I actually saw some guy do that in junior hockey.
Really?
Ref in the game, and
he handed out his stick for somebody.
Right away, he was right next to him. He goes, here, and the guy just had a natural reaction, grabbed it, and then I hit the whistle, and he was like, penalty in the box.
I love it. See, that's when it pays to know the rules. Like if you're a player, I give golf so much credit because those guys know the rules. They know what they can do, and they know how to use them to their advantage. And I think a lot of hockey players miss the boat on that because they don't know the rules. Or they don't know the rules for the league that they're playing in or the rule book that they're playing under. And that falls true for a lot of coaches as well. A lot of coaches think they're playing in, you know, their teams are playing in the NHL or they're playing college hockey, and it's a different rule book. You really need to know the rules for the league that you're playing in. That's all I could say. But anyway, it was a pretty cool play, and that would be interesting to see. But, yeah, you wouldn't be able to take somebody else's stick in that situation. Just like if both players lose their stick on the ice, technically, we just lost Brad. Oh, there he is. Technically, you can't pick that stick up and play with it. Now, if they both, I've actually seen that before where they both lost their stick, and there could be some confusion there. You know, that might be interesting, but technically.
Yeah, it's once they once they realize they have it, they're supposed to drop it. Now, a guy chasing after you, telling you it's his stick, that's identifiable.
Yeah.
So, but it's an interesting thing.
I did have that happen once. I did have that happen. The guy's like, this is not my stick. He's got my stick.
Yeah, he's got my stick. I got his stick. We'll get those back for you.
Yeah, we'll exchange those for you.
Anyway, it's an easy trade.
Right. So we got a couple tips for you today. And I guess the number one is hydrate. Start now.
Definitely.
Start now.
Yep.
If you're not hydrated, and if you cramp up, if you're a person that's susceptible to cramps, get yourself some tonic water.
Yep.
And start drinking it. And keep some tonic water in your bag at home that night. And maybe some bananas too. Both are probably good choices if you tend to cramp up a lot, because you are going to be skating a lot this weekend, especially if you're working the higher levels of hockey. That is a workout. If you're working, like most of the guys are probably working 6 games a day, I would say 3 and 3. Typically, some might work more, some might work a couple less. But either way, especially if you're working, you're working Bantam Major and above, you better start hydrating now. That would be a great idea. Yeah, you might want to keep some snacks in your bag.
Yeah, definitely bring some snacks with you. Definitely have water. If you're going to stay at the rink, you might want to lay down. Bring an extra towel that you can roll up. Use it as a pillow. Like, because I see a lot of guys napping, but they, their heads like this on the bench. So I couldn't imagine reffing with that afterwards. So, stuff like that. But the tonic water thing too. When you skate a ton and your legs are fatigued, a lot of people get restless leg syndrome when they lay down. The tonic water will stop restless leg syndrome too.
I didn't know that.
So
That's
if
interesting.
You struggle with that? Yep, you can drink it beforehand, and it should calm that down.
Very cool. That's a good one. I didn't know that, but I do have. I try to keep a bottle of tonic water, believe it or not, in the car, and I try to keep one in the house if needed. I had a few incidents many years ago where I didn't hydrate enough, and I paid the price for it. You cramp up.
Being dehydrated,
it can be really bad.
It does not feel good.
It's painful.
Yeah, it does not feel good.
It can be very painful.
Yep,
so.
And also it makes you a little loopy in the head.
Yeah. Another one that I like to throw out there every year, and that is keep a hair dryer in your bag. Not for this, but for your skates and your equipment and everything else. The hair dryer is just a really nice piece of gear to have so you can be comfortable out there. Some of these rinks are bitterly cold. I mean, brutal. So, you're wet. You got wet feet, wet socks. If you can, it's hard when you're just going between games and you got 7 minutes to change your socks and your skates. But, at least after that 3-game run, try to get some fresh socks on and get your skates dried out and the rest of your clothes dried out, an extra undershirt or whatever, so you can be comfortable out there. So that's a couple of biggest suggestions I've got. We got plenty more tips we can give you beyond that, but those are a couple things that I think are really helpful and should hopefully get you through the weekend. We could probably give you a couple mental tips too in terms of like trying to get through these games. I don't know, what's your secret? If you're doing like 3 in a row, 3 in a row can be a little painful. It's a long time. It's a good run. Are you counting by period? Are you going 1 down, 8 to go?
So at the beginning, I'll start it off. Because I have 14 of them, right? We'll start it off. We got 14 more to go. Then we got 1 off. We got 15 more to go, right? And then
you just added a game. You're going the wrong direction. You got 13 left to go.
Sorry. We got 11 to go, or 13 left to go. So
you're already loopy,
there, right? After the 3rd game, I just got done with work, Scott. Literally, it ran here. Anywho, but the second set of games that I'm out there, I start going. We're a quarter of the way through these 2 days, and then 2 more games because we had 2 more on Sunday. And then when it starts to get real desperate, and I'm starting to get red. All right, we got 6 periods left, so that's the last 2 games on Sunday. Once we get to that last game, hey, we got 2 halves or whatever it is, right? Yeah. Okay, we have 30 minutes total. We got 6 warm-ups, baby. We got to get through 6 warm-ups. Yeah. That's the way I start thinking about it sometimes. But
yeah, the halves are pretty easy. For me, I try, one of the things I use, I try not to look at the clock in the first period. As much as I can avoid looking at the clock, I don't want to see, 15-minute period. Now we're down to 13 minutes, like watching paint dry. I don't want to do that. I try not to look up there, and then a period is gone. I look up and there's 2 minutes left in the period. Great, we're already 1 down.
Yeah,
and I think once you hit the middle of the second period, it starts to go pretty quick. That 3rd period, the last 7 minutes is usually pretty quick because, either teams are in the game or out of the game. If you got a runner, you don't have to worry. It's just a matter of time. It's going to be over. But if you've got a good game, that last 7, 8 minutes, probably going to be some pretty good hockey. You're not going to have time to think about much with the clock. It's going.
Yeah, they're rolling through at that point too. They're out there. They're going.
And then before you know
desperate.
You got 1 down, and you do the same thing for the next game, and the next game, and the next game. And you know what? All you're doing is trying to get through the 3. You get a break. Go have something to eat. Take a break. And then you start the same way over again when you get that next series of games. So, that's, I've done 4 in a row before. That's even more painful. Mentally, it's, the skating you just get used to. Like, you're just going to stay. You just keep skating. You
just keep moving.
You just keep going. It doesn't change. It's the mental part. So that's kind of thing.
And it can be exhausting too if you have difficult games.
Yeah, absolutely. And being comfortable out there with everybody and keeping everybody happy as much as possible makes the game go that much smoother and that much quicker. Brian says, being a marathoner has me well prepared for CCM weekend. Electrolytes, and then more electrolytes. And yes, get that Gatorade going and that does help. So electrolytes are your friend. And, you know,
Yep, 100%.
almonds, anything that's kind of filling and easy.
Almonds,
Not
those
too
are a
heavy.
good snack.
Not too heavy.
You can carry peppermints with you too if you're one that's starting to get hungry. Peppermints curb off you being hungry.
Yeah. Good suggestion. So that's a couple of things that we like to do. I'm sure more of you have other things that you use or tricks that you use to kind of get through a lot of games like that. But that's a couple tips we have. Again, having lots of clothes, lots of stuff. Have backup stuff with you. If you got an extra pair of skates, doesn't hurt to have them in the trunk of your car. You know, if you get a blade that breaks or something crazy happens, you know, it's a lot of skating. You know, you're going to be on the ice 6 games in a day. You could be out there for 8 or 9 hours easily on the ice. It's a lot. You know, it's a full work day for a lot of people. Yeah, not for Brad, of course.
Time
but
of the year.
What's that?
This is my wife's favorite time.
She gets rid of you.
Yeah, I'm gone.
She's free.
But she's got to go to someplace. I forget.
Where's she going? Your kids are going to a tournament?
Yep. So the dog will be here patrolling the house along with a couple neighbors and stuff like that. So
yeah, very cool. All right. We were going to talk about score sheets. You and I had a conversation last night. You know, we always chit chat, but we talked about score sheets a little bit last night. And I think that is actually a really good topic to talk about because if you're filing an incident report, there's a lot more to these so that they can be tracked and people can get statistics and all that good stuff. So accuracy for this stuff, I'm sure we're going to be on Game Sheet for CCM, right?
Nah, it's
the iPad. The iPad.
Paper.
Oh, is it paper?
Pretty sure it's paper.
Is it really?
It's paper.
Okay, I thought we'd be on Game Sheet.
Sure.
Because a lot of the tournaments are on Game Sheet, so I'm kind of surprised. But anyway,
that's a lot of iPads.
Yeah.
That's the problem. A
Okay.
lot of iPads.
All right, so we're on iPaper.
You're on Xerox.
iPaper.
All right, Xerox single.
I'm on
Single
iPad.
ply.
You're on iPaper.
Single ply. You know, the one thing with it too, get a photo of the score sheet if you have something happen. You know, when you do it too, also, you know, check to make sure that the player's number is on a player. If it's on the score sheet for a game, make sure if there's a number 7 that you threw out, make sure there's a number 7 on the score sheet before they let the coaches go.
Yeah.
Or else you got nothing. You just, hey, I threw out number 7. Who is it? I don't know.
Number 7.
Like, great.
Number 7.
Number 7.
That's his name, number 7.
So
it's on the back of his jersey. That's his name.
What I do, especially if it's a paper score sheet, what I do is I actually go and I circle the guy that was thrown out afterwards.
Yeah.
That way I have quick reference to it as well, so I don't have to find him. Luckily on the iPads when you're working with them, it won't allow you to put somebody in there that's not on there, number wise. It triggers, but with a paper score sheet, that's important. The other thing too, you need to count how many players are on the ice compared to how many players are on the score sheet.
Right.
Because if you got 18 guys on the ice and 16 on the score sheet, obviously there's people missing.
Correct.
All right, and also if you got 18 on the sheet and 16 on the ice, but yet they're not out there, that's called ghosting players. So in other words, players have to play in so many games, and in the CCM, sometimes they use these games as league games along with the CCM, and then sometimes they use them also for nationals to get in. So you can't have somebody ghosting players for their percentages for them to get in to these tournaments. They have to play a certain amount to be a recognized person of that team and yada yada to qualify. So ghosting players can be a real problem. And somebody that's smart that is going to take a shot at it. Hey, I ghosted the guy that's not here. Guess what? He was now, and the referee should have caught it. So.
Right. And do you like them to mark that as absent, ABS, or do you like them crossed off the sheet completely?
ABS. Cross them off at the end.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. All right.
Those
are some tips. Make sure you review the score sheet at the end of the game. if you have a situation that's going to require some paperwork, don't be ashamed to take the score sheet back to the ref room if you need to. And take a look at it.
And also remember about the iPads.
Yeah, same thing with the
like
iPad.
we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Well, remember what we talked about last week, that is somebody's personal property, generally, whoever it is. Just make them known where you're going. Offer them to come with you to wait outside the locker room. Yeah. They're expensive. I get it. Let's just be mindful of it.
Okay. Fair enough. I like that. What else you got?
Well, another thing you can do, too, is a lot of the tournaments, or the rinks have the ability to make a copy of the score sheet for you. So you can actually ask. There's a tournament director, especially CCM, every rink. They'll be more than happy to make a copy for you. And some of them that have been doing it for so long here in Illinois, we're lucky. They just bring you a copy.
Yeah, they know. They know when there's a problem. It's like, here's your copy.
Yep. Yeah. So,
or they'll come over with the score sheet so you can take a photo. And honestly, I think the photo is the best. But do yourself a favor. Check the photo. Make sure your hand didn't move so it's blurry and you can't read it. It happens. It happens.
No, it happens.
So.
Or the guy that doesn't realize his camera lens is covered. We've had that happen before. They're like, well, I took a photo, and you can see the guy's finger over it. And I'm like, well, I know these things happen. They're like, but maybe you should check the photo next time.
Exactly.
But yeah, just make sure you have a record. And if you have to, with all these games, what I would do in this especially, is I'll actually jot it down in my Riot Pad what happened.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to think about it when I get home exhausted.
And if you don't know what a Riot Pad is, these are great. This is a rocket pad where you can actually mark this thing up the way you want with a permanent marker. So if, let's say you're doing shootouts, you can literally take a page of this. This is erasable. So you can wash the ink off, like this is blank because this is a brand new one. You get a little microfiber towel, a little water. The ink comes off. But if you use a Sharpie, use one of these, you can create your own score sheet, like with boxes for the player numbers or, goals scored in a shootout or something like that. Or you can, have home and away, light, dark, whatever works for you. All the things that you can find in the best Riot pads that are out there, you can make your own. And at the end of the day, if you want to keep all your information, all you do is scan it. There's a little code here. You use an app, and you can scan. You see there's a little QR code down there. You can scan that, and you'll have a permanent record of all the notes that you have, whatever you need. So if there's some rule references you're not sure about or whatever that you want to mark in your Riot Pad, a lot of referees do that. They'll keep certain things in there that they want to make sure they get straight. They'll keep them in the Riot Pad, and you can do that very easily in here. So you could have a permanent record of it if you want that stays on there by using a permanent pen. But when you use the pens that they provide, and you can get additional pens like that, these allow you to write on this thing and just wipe it off, which is very cool. So
just wipe it off.
Yeah, afterwards.
just the way you said it. It was like the ultimate sales pitch, and then just wipe it off.
Wipe it off.
Just wipe it off.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Wipe it off.
Absolutely. So
I'm sorry. You should be a salesman for these guys.
Right.
Then after you're done, just wipe it off.
Wipe it off.
I'm sorry, that got me in the funny mode.
You just need the little. You have to dampen the towel. Like it doesn't just wipe off. You can't just rub it like this and it comes off. You have to actually dampen the towel, the little microfiber that they give you, and any microfiber will work. Just so you know.
Do they give you a little mini water bottle that you can carry with?
No, but they should. They sell like a little spray bottle. I think they recommend the spray bottle. Believe it or not, I know. You got to get an upsell. They got to get an upsell somewhere, right? We sell a little spray bottle for the water.
That's it.
And if you want, we'll even sell you the water for another upcharge of 50 cents in shipping. I mean,
this water has more.
Yeah, we recommend East Coast water for this. It seems to work a little bit better. So, for $2, we'll send you a bottle of that. Yeah. But yeah, the Riot Pad is very handy to have, and if you're working any kind of level of hockey, you should have one with you. Let's see here. We got a couple more comments. Karen, what's going on? How are you? There have been injured players on the bench with no helmet, and a reply of, well, the ref didn't say anything. I'm not sure what level you're referring to, but, if you got players on the bench, they should be taken. If they're injured, they should go beyond the glass area where they can't get hit. I get if they're taking something off for a second and putting it right back on, but even players sitting in the penalty box, I don't care if it's glassed in, you got to wear your helmet.
No, wear your helmet, yep.
That's right. So if you see somebody on the bench, and that includes the goalies with face masks up or not on, you got to have them on. So
yep.
That's the way it works. And if you're a coach and you're 18 or under, you also have to have one on. Is it over 18? I'm pretty sure over 18. Over 18, I know doesn't have to have them, but I think if you're 18 or under, or if you're an injured player that's just watching the game, staying on the bench, you have to do that.
If you're an injured player on the bench, you have to have a helmet and facial protection. And you're supposed to be wearing your team jersey as well, team uniform.
Right.
Now, I know people that will allow guys, if they're wearing their team jackets, if you really look at the rule, it does say similar underneath their uniforms. They're supposed to be identifiable that they're players and not coaches.
Well, they're pretty much identified by the fact that they have a helmet on with a cage. That's how I view it.
But that's the problem.
They might have a suit on or something. They might be well dressed for the game, and they put their helmet on. I'm like, I'm good with that. I get your. I've been already told that I see the cast on your arm or whatever, and I know you're out injured. I've already said hello to you when I walked over or skated over at the score sheet.
Yeah. Guy's got a sling. You can't shake your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Karen said, would it be possible to do a quick visual check before the game? Talking back is becoming more prevalent. Talking back from who? From the players? From the coaches? The parents? Who would be talking back, Karen? Spell that out a little bit for us.
Probably.
The visual check, I think, everybody pretty much takes a bit of a look out there and checks things out. Are they going to go down and inspect every player? No, they're not going to do that, but. Are you referring to like a mouth guard or a neck guard? Neck guards now are pretty obvious to spot if you don't have one. I mean, the players have gotten pretty good about wearing. I mean, it used to be, every game you were going to catch a couple people. Now it's like, they've all pretty much got them on. They know they're going to get sent off the ice and they don't want to miss a shift. A lot of them come out and have them on the bench with them, and then they put them on after the warm up or something. They should have them on the whole time, but at least they've got them. We get them on them. We know that they're doing what they're supposed to, and that's half the battle. It's for their safety. So.
Yeah, and also, so I had a situation that I had a player. This was the first issue I've had with a neck guard all year, with all the games I've done. Amazingly, but I had a player a couple weeks ago, and in the first period, first shift of the game, his neck guard comes off. Okay, everybody, we get that's going to happen. Yep. He comes out there like 2 shifts later, his neck guard comes off again. So I, as a referee, picked it up all the way down the ice, and I skated it all the way down the ice with him next to me. And I handed it to the coach, and I went, this is the second time this came off. So he's obviously not wearing it properly. If it comes off again, he's going to go take a seat for 10 minutes. So we finish the second period. We get through the first period. We get through the second period. No other instances. We come back out through the third. Guess whose neck guard falls off?
Mm-hmm.
Guess who went and sat in the box for 10 minutes afterwards?
Good.
It's a rule. I didn't hear anything from the coaches. They knew it right away when
they know.
When they went. So I'm like, no.
I got to be honest with you. I'm shocked. Like I have a squirt team. My Squirt 2 team, they all come out with their neck guards. Like, they ask for help to get their helmets on. You got to tie skates for them. They all put their neck guards on. They all have their neck guards on. I even have players that have mouth guards in. Like, they're in the locker room talking to me, and they got a mouth guard, and it's like, you're going to have to take it out. I can't understand the words you're saying because they're soft-spoken to begin with. Now you get a mouth guard in there. But, like, the players, a lot of players they do what they're supposed to. And we have some that just, they just got to buck the system.
Well, it's also a normal now. It's kind of like in the NHL before they made it to where you have to wear a half shield. They had it to where you had to play so many games, then you could take the halfer off, right? Well, most of the players, when they're coming up, they're wearing full facial protection coming up. Then when they're playing upper levels of hockey, they're wearing a half shield. So, like, it's no longer the guys are taking it off, so they've just completely eliminated it. So, as society gets more used to it, it'll become less and less of an issue. So, the one thing I'll say, for any parents, but just invest in the shirts. Just invest in the shirts.
That's the way it should have been. I'm sorry. USA Hockey, you missed the boat on that one. They should have just said it's going to need to be a shirt, and that's the way it's going to be. Or, like, as we call it, the dickie or whatever you want to call it, like a turtleneck type thing. The wraparound with the Velcro, total miss. Total miss. And also, and Brian brings up a point here that just came up in the comments, and I want to bring this up because it says some guys have it on, but completely tucked down under their shoulder pads. When called on it, they'll dig it out, and they'll wait and, for someone to notice. Okay, well, here's the deal. Again, kind of a total miss here. Because a lot of the guys had these from before, and they're soft turtlenecks. They're very soft, and they're very short. They're only about this high, okay? And they're wearing them. They are wearing them. Now, they could be worn out. I don't think it's what we want moving forward, but they're not deemed to be illegal at this time. Am I correct?
Correct. As things move forward, the rule is going to get more restrictive and more restrictive.
Right.
That's just how it is.
We have a rule change next year. Our book changes for next year. I think some of these things will be documented correctly moving forward. I'm going to hope.
Well, you got to remember, Scott, the equipment manufacturers have to have the time in order to get everything done. Everybody has to have time to get things purchased, circulated. Yep. If you say, hey, everybody's got to have this tomorrow, guess what happens?
Yeah.
There's 100,000 people that can't get it because there just isn't one in manufactured. So, it's one of those, it might be a slow process, but it's at least curving towards the positive.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest and to be fair, the manufacturers have made these for a number of years, and, players were supposed to have worn them all along. Some of them still have their ratty ones that they've had for years. They used to have to wear in at least in Illinois, they used to have to wear a neck guard. And then we stopped it for a few months, and then all of a sudden we came with the even bigger, harder rule. But they used to wear a neck guard. And so if you go into the pro shops, they still have some of the old school neck guards. The manufacturers still have some of the old school neck guards. And so it's like, well, they need neck guards. I don't think we knew that, it's got to be the ballistic ones that are this high and everything else that are more like a collar. And so I think they've allowed this to kind of move forward as, okay, we got some protection on. It may not be exactly what we want, but at least they're wearing something at this point where they weren't wearing anything before. It's a work in progress.
It's a start.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
It'll get more restrictive, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the best way to put it, because I've had some people too that I've asked, like, where is your neck guard? And they're like, they got it. I'm like, okay, well, you need to pull it up. I get it's the shirt. And, I've had players and coaches point out, hey, 14 doesn't have a neck guard on, because, we do have the coaches and the players that try to get an advantage. I'm not going to say which schools they're from, but they do. And, it's like, you can go over him. Hey, he's got one. He's legal. He's good to go. It's there. So that's all you can do. All we can do is, if asked to check, we can check. That's the way it works. But make sure if you're asking or telling us about somebody else, make sure all your players have one on, because we have teams that try to do that too, and they don't have their stuff. It's like, oh, you're going to play that game? You're going to go down that road? Okay. All right. Let's see how it works out for you. Because never goes well. Never goes well. Never goes well. So.
Everybody gets off.
Yeah, that's all I can say. All right. Well, with that being said, we're not going to make this a long one. It's going to be a long weekend for most everybody.
Yeah. It's going to be a long weekend, baby.
Yep.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I am ready. It's going to be different for me. I'm disappointed. I work late nights because I do men's league still as well. And so I sleep in a little bit later. And I'm available all day tomorrow because I did have one game that canceled. And all these games came out, and they went as fast as they came out because the text message came out in the morning while I'm sleeping, and all the games were gone. So I would have liked to have worked some of those games tomorrow, but there was nothing available to take. So I'm disappointed by that. I will say that. And then I will tell you that, yes, I am. My squirt team is going out of town, so I am going with my squirt team and also to help the squirt one team as well because they're going to be short-staffed. So I'm going to help with one of their games. So I don't get to skate this weekend, so I'm kind of bummed out, actually. I'm skating the game tonight, and that's it, man. That's the end of my week. Halloween, they canceled the games for tomorrow. So I will be back probably Tuesday night, or Monday night. Monday night working, I think. Monday night I'll be back working, I guess, skating, that sort of thing.
Monday night, I won't.
Squirt team had many neck guards missing. Yeah, nice try. I don't think so. Absolutely ridiculous that they were not called for missed neck guards. Need to be more of a serious issue. Yeah. I think they have become a serious issue. I think everybody's pretty serious about the neck guards now. I think that before they weren't. All you needed was an incident, and fortunately it wasn't us in Illinois, but, we saw the incident, and everybody saw it around the world when they saw that incident because it was bad. And as a result, I think people have taken it a lot more seriously. And that, by the way, that goes for our referees that are under 18 years of age. They have to wear neck guards. So,
correct.
Yeah. Now, who enforces that? Do the coaches enforce that on the under 18 referees? And what is the recourse there? Just out of curiosity.
The officials are supposed to wear what they are. That's it. Wear what you're supposed to wear. It's part of your dress.
Right. Okay.
Falls under 501. It would be like not wearing a helmet.
Yep. This is funny because he says maybe I should wear a neck guard on the bench to be safe. Listen, if I was coaching
I think
a U16 or a U18 team, I'd want to wear a helmet and shield, and not just a shield. I'd want to wear a helmet and a cage on the bench. I saw a coach the other night.
Scott, I'm telling you, it's probably not that far from coming. I don't understand why they're allowed to still.
I had this is a true
my
story.
Personal opinion. You're making.
I had a JV game the other night. JV game, and the coach has his chalkboard out, and he is squatting down on the bench.
I know where this is gonna.
And he is doing the X's and O's for one of his players, and he has like a it's not a baseball cap. I don't know what you call it, like a short build, like a dressier cap. Oh, that thing got taken off.
A fedora?
Well, it's not like, it doesn't have the brim around it. Maybe it would be a fedora. I don't know what you'd call it. Anyway, he had that thing taken off. It got taken off while he was, I was like, I went over. He was really lucky. It caught the top part of his hat and came off. It didn't get him, like he didn't get cut. He didn't get the puck on the forehead or anything. But that was pretty scary. And I was like, wow, are you okay? I went over to check on him. He's a nice guy. And I'm really glad he didn't get seriously hurt. He could have really, really been damaged out there. So it is no joke, when you are on that bench that, even as a coach, I've seen a lot of coaches, the high school coaches getting hit with pucks from pucks being shot out. And, I'm surprised we don't have more injuries from that, to be honest with you. I really am. It's dangerous. That's all I can say.
I'll tell you a funny story, Scott. So back in the day, there used to be a local college ACHA team, and they were so good they would beat opponents pretty bad. And it was $5 to get in the pool. And the entire third period, they would shoot pucks at their head coach in the bench. And watch him dive around. And if you hit him, you won the pool. So you know, like, you can't get hit by your own players. But yeah, that was.
Well, I've seen some nastiness too, because I've seen somebody in a men's league game before. I've seen somebody snap a couple pucks over at the open bench, okay, at the opposing team's bench, when they're not happy. So yeah, not good. And you know, there's, you know, it's dangerous. That's all I can say. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point that does need to happen. Honestly. I'm sure a lot of people won't be happy about it, that they'd have to do it.
I don't see how an underwriting company allows it.
What's that?
It's not a rule yet. I don't see how an insurer allows it. And it just hasn't had a serious enough event yet. And unfortunately, sometimes those things need to happen.
I don't wish it on anybody when it happens.
Let's end it on a non-positive note today.
Oh, we're going out on the sour note today? Really? Yeah, okay. That's not like you. I thought our glass was half full.
We were going to end good, and then you kept going.
I thought your beer was half full.
I'm going.
Hey, look, I saw a coach.
I got too many.
I saw a well-known coach get hit with a stick too on the bench. You know, like you're talking to your players, and you're over by working the door, and somebody comes by and bam. And yes, he did get opened up. That's the other part of it too that we didn't even talk about. You know, we know the puck comes at you, but you know, you got the sticks. I mean, even as an official, if you're lining, you know, it can be challenging working around some of those benches, especially some of the not as skilled teams that, you know, think they can just crawl right over your head and come out, you know, because they're in a panic to get out there, I guess. They don't realize they have a lot of bench to work with and that they can maneuver. But, you know, that's another story for another day, I guess. As long as we're happy. Ending on the high note here.
Well, let's get it to the end here, Scott. Bring her home.
Bring her home. All right, let's bring her home. You guys have a great weekend out there. Go take an extra game, because I know they're going to need it. Somebody's got to cover the games I'm not working this weekend, so somebody pick up some extra game. Baumruck, take another game for me, will you?
Hey, Scott, just wipe it off. Just wipe it off. Get the show over with. Wipe it off.
Just take the cloth and wipe it off. That's all. Yeah. Karen says she got hit with a stick and had a concussion for 4 months. See? Yeah, see? It happens. Yeah. They got to give you hazard pay, Karen.
Karen also sent me a text. Howie's Hockey's having some sales, so for Halloween.
What are you giving? I saw that. You know, they're not getting a free plug. They don't send us free tape, do they? Did you get some free? Did you get some free tape or free laces? Some free referee laces? No, we don't get anything. So you know, there you go.
Clip it and send them the video, Scott.
Yeah, right. Yeah, here's your free pair of laces. Yeah, here's your discount code. All right, guys, you have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week, Wednesday night. I think we're on next week. I'm not sure if we're going to be, because I think I have a high school game or something that's cutting close.
I believe you have a high school game, sir.
Yeah, I believe so too. So we may not be on next Wednesday. So we'll be back in 2 weeks, I believe. I spoke to Brett yesterday for a while. I think he's going to join us on the 20th. Yeah. That's the plan.
That's what you put in the calendar. I
know. Well, I'm just saying, get some videos and all that good stuff. So I thought we'd spruce it up and have some guests on the show and yak it up a little bit like we like to do. All right. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, everybody. Look forward to seeing you back in 2 weeks. And again, have fun out there. It's going to be a great weekend. You're going to see some great hockey. And on behalf of the Ref Room, I'm Scott Smokin SIlz, along with our referee-in-chief, Brad Baumruck. Have a great week, everybody. Peace out. All right, we'll see you.
Wipe it off.
Right, wipe it off. Wipe it off. Just wipe it off.